If you're an employee listening to this right now, this episode is for you. But it's also for you to send to all leadership. Because the way your company is running right now, the way you are being asked to spend your day, the work you're being expected to do manually, all of it is going to change. And the only question is whether your company makes that change with you or whether your company gets replaced by the one that already did. Your CEO keeps asking you to work harder, stay later, take on more accounts, make more calls, send more emails. Does this sound familiar? Update the CRM tool more thoroughly, build more reports, keep grinding. And here's the truth that nobody's telling them. You're already working as hard as you can. The grind is not the problem. The grind is killing you. And it's killing the company too. Because every hour you spend on manual data entry, manual logging, manual reporting, and manual follow-up is an hour you're not spending on the work that actually grows the business. Working harder is not the answer. Working smarter with AI absolutely is. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, let me describe a typical day at most companies right now. Monday through Friday in the office, 8 to 5. No flexibility, no remote option, no autonomy. You show up, you grind, you go home. You do it again and again the next day. That's what leadership calls work ethic. And let me tell you what it actually is. It's a failure of imagination. Here's the real example. A salesperson, let's call them Sarah, finishes a discover call with a prospect. Call goes well. There's real opportunity. The prospect is not ready to buy today, but they will be in 6 months. What happens next at most companies? Well, Sarah's got to open her email, manually enter notes from her memory, hoping she gets the details right. She tries to remember every key point. She types the next steps, sets the follow-up reminder, she drafts a follow-up email, she thinks about how to nurture this prospect for 6 months while she handles 40 other deals at the same stage. She tries to log every detail accurately so that someone reviewing this account later will understand the relationship. This takes 30 minutes, sometimes more. That's 30 minutes she's not on the next call. 30 minutes she's not following up with a current client. 30 minutes she's not building pipeline and relationships. 30 minutes she's not thinking strategically about which deals are stalling and why, and who to focus on now. Multiply that across every single call she takes. Multiply that across every salesperson in that company. Multiply that across every week. You are paying expert sales talent to do administrative work that an AI note taker, probably integrated with the CRM, could absolutely handle automatically. That call ends. The notes are captured. The CRM's updated. The follow-up email's drafted based on what was said. The drip campaign is then triggered. The 6 months nurture sequence kicks in. The reminder's set. All of it. Without Sarah ever opening the CRM. Sarah moves to the next call, and the next, and the next. And the work that used to take her 3 hours of grinding gets done in real time, automatically, while she focuses on what she was actually hired to do. Sell. That's what working smarter looks like. And every company that is not deploying it is bleeding productivity by the hour. Now, let me talk about why most employees are not embracing AI on their own. If you're a CEO and you've rolled out AI tools and your team is resisting them, here's what's actually happening. Your employees are not lazy. They're not technophobic. They're not stuck in the past. They're scared. Every time an employee hears AI, they hear one thing. You want me to train the thing that's going to replace me. That's the unspoken fear. And until you address it directly, you will keep wondering why your team finds every excuse to avoid using the tools you bought them. Here's what employees see. They watch news stories about companies laying off thousands of workers and citing AI. They see headlines about job replacement. They hear executives talk about efficiency and cost savings. They put two and two together And if I help my company automate my job, I'm training my replacement. So they push back. They say AI hallucinates too much. They say it doesn't understand our business. They say it takes longer to use AI than just do it myself. Every objection is real on the surface, but underneath, every employee is protecting their job the only way they know how. Do any of those sound familiar? And here's the part that should shake every CEO listening. Your best employees, they are paying attention to something else. They're watching the companies that are doing AI right. The companies where the salesperson doesn't log their own calls, where the meeting notes are automatic, where the CRM updates itself, where the follow-up email's already drafted, where the salesperson just walks into a calendar full of pre-qualified appointments and closes deals. Your best employees see that, and they're starting to ask themselves a question. Why am I grinding through manual work when the company down the street has automated all of this for their team? If you do not give your team a reason to embrace AI, they will leave to work for a company that already has. And it will not be bottom performers leaving. It will be your top talent, the ones who recognize where the future's going. So how does a CEO actually flip this? There is a script. It's not subtle. It's not corporate. It is very direct. You bring your entire team together, and then you bring each department together separately. You tell them the truth. Not the comfortable version, the real version. You say something like this: I want to talk about AI. I know there's a lot of fear out there. I know what you are reading. I know what you're seeing, and I want to be very honest with you. Here's the reality. Our competitors are already deploying AI. The ones that are not will be within 24 months. And the companies that do not deploy AI effectively are going to fall behind. Eventually, they will have to make changes that none of us want to make. So we're going to deploy AI, not to replace anyone, to make every one of you twice as effective at your job, to eliminate the grunt work that nobody likes doing anyway, to free you up to focus on what actually grows the business: customer retention, revenue growth, building pipeline, removing all the barriers for new clients, and shortening the sales cycle. When we do this right, we have no choice but to grow. And when we grow, we hire. We do not fire. We grow the team. We add capacity. We expand into new markets. We take care of our people. I'm asking you to help us figure out how to do this. Where is the manual work in your day that drains you? Where is the bottlenecks? Where are the tasks that you do not believe a human should be doing anymore? Bring those to us. Bring them to your manager. Bring them to me directly. Because the more we automate the right things, the more we grow. And the more we grow, the more secure your role becomes. That's the conversation. Most CEOs have never had it. They roll out AI with an email and a Slack message. And then they wonder why adoption is poor. Adoption is poor because the team has not been given a reason to believe AI is on their side. Give them that reason. Say it clearly. Say it directly. And then back it up with action. Now, let me walk you through what happens when a company actually gets this right. Sarah, our salesperson, comes in Monday morning. Her calendar is full of pre-qualified appointments. The AI has already screened the prospects. The drip campaigns have been running for weeks. By the time these prospects book a call with Sarah, they have already understood the value proposition. They've watched videos, they've read the case studies, they've engaged with the content. Sarah does not have to educate, she has to close. She walks the client through the value proposition, she answers their specific questions for their business, and handles their specific objections. And then she moves them to a DocuSign. That's the entire sales cycle. No manual CRM entry, no drafting follow-up emails, no remember to send the case study, setting reminders, no building reports for management. All of that is happening in the background. And here's what happens to Sarah's day after the workflow is automated. She no longer is drowning in administrative work. She has time, real time, time to think, time to be adaptive to her daily flow of life that happens. And here's the magic that actually starts. When Sarah has time, she starts thinking about her existing clients more. There's opportunities that she's been missing because we have new products now that didn't exist when we onboarded them. And there's now things that we can bring to the table and build that relationship even further with them. She also starts thinking about potential targets she's not had time to research on. The company's on the edge of her territory, maybe vertical she's been ignoring because it's been too difficult for time's sake. The accounts that are stuck in the middle of the funnel, and then something even bigger happens. Sarah starts looking at other departments. She sees a bottleneck in operations that is slowly slowing down delivery. She sees a gap in customer service that's causing churn. She sees a marketing process that could be improved. She's not paid to think about these things, but because AI gave her the time, she starts thinking about them in anyway. This is when companies start increasing 2, 4, and even X on improvements on operational efficiency. Not because one employee found an automation, but because every employee across the entire department is now thinking strategically instead of grinding through manual work. Multiple employees, multiple departments, cross functional thinking, compounding gains. The morale goes up, the meetings get more productive, and the team starts finding ways to help each other because everyone has time to think. And here's the move that nobody's talking about: incentivize it. If an employee identifies a workflow that can be automated and that automation saves the company time or money, pay them. Either a one-time bonus or a piece of the additional profit that comes from the efficiency gain. Watch what happens. You're going to be amazed at how quickly AI gets rolled out. Suddenly, every employee in your company becomes an automation hunter. They're looking for waste. They're bringing ideas to leadership. They're participating in transformation instead of resisting it. The amount of people jumping on board is going to grow exponentially because now they're not just being asked to use AI, they're being rewarded for finding ways to use it better. Now, let me get blunt for a minute. If you're a CEO and you're still asking your team to manually update CRM, manually log every call, manually build reports, manually format documents, manually draft follow-up emails, and manually do work that an AI workflow could handle in seconds, your best people are going to leave. They might not have told you yet. They might still be smiling in meetings. They might still be hitting their numbers, but they're looking. They're looking at LinkedIn job posts, they're talking to friends at other companies, and they're noticing which companies are deploying AI properly. They're not paying attention to which executives talk about an AI as a tool for their team versus a threat to their team. And when the right offer comes along, they're going to leave. Because here's what your best employees have figured out: the companies that automate properly do not just operate more efficiently, they pay better, they scale faster, and they give their employees more autonomy because everybody's got a little more time. They have higher margins, which means more budget for raises, bonus, marketing, advertising, deployment of solutions that can help with integration. They invest in their people because the technology is doing the grunt work. If you're competing for talent against an AI mature company and you're still telling your team to work harder, you're going to lose. You just have not realized it yet. Your top performer is not going to tell you that they are leaving because of AI. They're going to say it is a better opportunity, a bigger title, more money, a new challenge. But the real reason is they finally found a company that values their time enough to invest in the tools that protect it. Now, let me talk directly to the employee listening in this episode. You might be a salesperson, you might be in operations, you might be in HR, you might be in customer service, you might even be in finance. Whatever your role, you're doing things every single day that should not require a human in 2026. You know this, you feel it, and you've probably already thought, there has to be a better way. Here's what you can do tomorrow morning. Start small. Pick one task that you do regularly. Maybe it's logging calls. Maybe it's formatting reports. Maybe it's summarizing meetings. Maybe it's drafting the same kind of emails over and over and over again. Do some research. Look at what AI tools could handle that specific task. Not the whole job, just that one task. Look at how it would work. Look at what the inputs would be and what outputs would also be. Think about how it would integrate with the systems you already use. Then bring that to your manager or your executive team or even directly to the CEO owner. Frame it as time and a money saver, not as I want to be replaced by AI. Frame it as here's how we can save the company X hours per week, which translates to X dollars per year. You might be surprised at the response. Most leaders are not actually opposed to AI. They just have not had the time or the expertise to figure out where to start. When an employee brings them a specific actionable item, they're often jumping on it. And if your leadership team rejects the idea or dismisses you, that tells you just keep doing it the way we've always done it. Then you have learned something important about your company. You've learned that they're not going to invest in your future, which means you should probably start thinking about whether they are going to be around for you. And to be clear, there are some good AI tools out there, but there are also some great ones. We've built a complete solution with Fortify AI that includes every major model in secure environment, real-time prompt optimization, agentic automation, and scales across departments, and an adaptive agent that eliminates the work humans should not be doing anymore. But whether you bring us in or not, the point is to bring someone in, because the alternative is to keep grinding while your competition pulls ahead. Now, let me close with this. Working harder used to be a virtue. There was a time when more hours, more effort, more grit was the only way to get ahead. That time's over. Working smarter is the virtue now. And working smarter means using the tools that exist to eliminate waste, focus on high value activity, and free up human creativity for the work that actually matters. The company that figures this out are going to compound. They're going to grow faster, retain better talent, deliver better client experiences, and operate at margins that our competitors can't match. The companies that keep asking their team to work harder are going to keep losing their best people, watch their margins shrink, and wonder why their competitors are pulling ahead. Now, if you're a CEO, ask yourself one question. Are you investing in tools that make your team more valuable? If you are an employee, ask yourself one question. Is your company investing in tools that make you more valuable? If the answer is no on either side, the conversation needs to happen this week. Not next quarter, not next year, this week, because competition is right behind you. Now, here's what I want you to do. If you're an employee, forward this episode to your CEO, your manager, your executive leadership team. Tell them you want to talk about AI and how it can make you more effective, not how it can replace you. If you are a CEO or a business owner, take 15 minutes with us. We will show you exactly how to deploy AI in a way that protects your team, automates the grunt work, and creates conditions for real growth. We're helping companies do this right now, not someday, now. In 15 minutes, we can show you where the automation opportunities are inside your business, how Fortify AI handles secure deployment, and what a real AI strategy looks like for an organization that wants to grow. The only question is whether we're having that conversation with you or with your competitor. The booking link is in the show notes and in our LinkedIn. This has been The Digital Dilemma. I am Nick Dreyfus from INET, Vice President of Business Development. Until next time, have a great one.